We will now hear from two speakers. The first speaker will be given by Dr. KATSUNO, who is the Senior Director, Investment Strategy Business Development, and I have the great pleasure of introducing him early. He has worked as a medical director. After working as physician at the National Center for Global Health and Medicine, Dr. Katsuno received master's for public health degree from Johns Hopkins University School of Public Health as a Fulbright scholar. After working at East West Center in the United States and the World Bank, he assumed the current position. He's going to talk about the importance of diverse partnership for product development in global health. Dr. Katsuno, please. And I would like to begin by thanking all of you for this opportunity. I am Katsuno from GHIT Fund. As you know, GHIT Fund has been focusing on the product development for the improvement of infectious disease control in developing countries. And we are a fund, and I would like to, from our perspective, talk about what's important in promoting partnership. These are what I would like to talk about today in my presentation. Generally, I would like to talk about the first title, Japan and Global, the partnership between Japan and other countries. And then secondly, academia and industry, how members of the academia can deal with members of the industry. Number three is how to develop products and how best we can ensure access to that. And number four is how to work together with other funders. And lastly, what kind of financial support can be maintained so that we can continue R&D? So those are what I would like to talk about, starting with Japan and global partnership between Japan and organizations in other countries. And you see the drawing. GHIT Fund focuses on very specifically malaria, TB, and other NTDs, as was already mentioned by Professor Watanabe. We are trying to develop therapeutics, vaccines, as well as diagnostics for those. GHIT Fund is very important in that every project can become a bridge just connecting Japan and other countries. This is the portfolio. More than 50 separate projects are ongoing from left to right. You see that different projects are in discovery, clinical to clinical. So from very early on in the development of products, we are engaged. I apologize that the funds are very small, but every project is actually described in detail. If you could visit us at our website, so please see that. What's important though is that every project under GHIT portfolio is a project between Japanese organizations with the foreign business, NPO, and the research institute. It can be any kind of combinations. The important point is every project we support is based on partnership between Japan and other countries in Africa, and I have focused on our projects in Africa. These are the countries where we are doing malaria and other NPDs, malarial, anti-malarial vaccines. And of course, there will be discussions on the Bururi ulcer, diagnostic kits. These are being now developed in our partnership with African counterparts. Very specifically, from the point of view that we are in international partnership, where there are resources intensive as well as a paucity, we want to try to leverage resources well, and that is going to be very important. Another perspective is that it has to be a global network. Networks not within Japan, but those experts already existing locally should be brought together. If there is no network, has to be built so that we will grow potential as well as existing markets. Those are some of the potential areas of growth. Dr. Kita has been the founding members, and he has led the selection committee at our funds. And this is what he's saying. It is important, he says, that the GHIT's investments has a prerequisite that every project must be partnership between Japan and the global, and he is focusing, and this has shown the outcome, especially young researchers with global mindset has been grown. And so focusing on the partnership between Japan and global entities, emphasis we have attached to that as GHIT has been very helpful, and R&D can be promoted with the mind of growing new researchers and other experts. And this has been very important for us and people know. Next is relationship between the academia and the industry. I would like to provide my comments about how we may be able to do that. Several projects are being shown here. R&D projects include the academia, business, independent research institute, as well as businesses are participating. For example, we have malaria vaccine with Ken, and we have Blurry ulcer with Dr. Watanabe's group at Teikyo. We see that there's a broad academia and private sector partnership, which we support. With more and more development, we hope that the R&D projects can reach commercial phase with more participation from businesses, and that is very important to us too. Number three, R&D and access. GHIT Fund uh, is a fund which invests in R&D activities, but not just R&D. It's quite important that we should tie that into improved access. We believe that this is important to us too. Very specifically, we're talking about bridging R&D and access. It's not that we finish all our activities when R&D project ends. We have to make sure how that ties into better access and delivery. And we believe that to be another very important point of discussion, especially for late phase development product. We want to make sure that there are ways we should have the go-to-market strategy clearly for those, and we assist in that. And in the middle of the page, we are talking about a new GHIT co-development with the UNDP. And we have this relationship. We are inviting various stakeholders so that the product development in this area, once concluded, how we can secure delivery. And we have provided a forum for discussion. And number three, uh, stakeholders include educational institutions, and we are trying to, within Japan as well as in other countries, convey our thoughts about access. Very specifically, we have Japan Alliance on Global Neglected Tropical Diseases, or JGNTD. We are using this forum to provide our views on how we can best do this on a number of occasions. Number four is co-funding. This is several funding organizations working together. As I said, we focus on partnership between Japan and the different entities abroad, and we provide investments to developing countries. Of course, there's a limit to what a GHIT alone can do financially as well. We want to make sure that the multiple number of projects be continued in a sustainable manner that requires working together with other funders. We want to support the projects as much as possible, not by ourselves alone, but together with others that can accelerate the product development and lead to expedited entry to market. We have EDC, TCP in other countries. We are working together, of course, with AMED in Japan, GHIT Fund, and other funders in multiple numbers. Supporting the same project will lead to more stable product development processes, and that's what we want to do. The last part is about financing. For this, at the moment, as I have talked about the importance of a public-private partnership, about half comes from Japanese government, remaining half has various pharmaceutical companies who develop a brand as well as diagnostics. We have affiliate partners, including Gates Foundation. GHIT Fund want to very strongly support entrepreneurship, and it's going to involve not just the private sector or public sector, but more broadly, so that we can continuously, without interruption, continue to support and fund all of our projects. This is my last slide. I have rushed through important points, but in the area of product development, especially in developing countries, as they try to come up with products associated with infectious disease control, I have listed these 5 important areas. We want to continue to think about these perspectives, and in any case, financing is limited, so we want to leverage resources better so that we can maximize impact of all of these projects. And that's what we have in mind as we continue to support product development for global health. I would like to conclude my speech, although I have rushed through everything of what I wanted to say. Thank you.